So hello there, this is Srivasu Gaurisetti and you are watching my channel. So in the previous video we have discussed what are the things that are happening before a compiler and what are the things that are happening after a compiler. In fact, we have discussed about the language processing system, but here the thing is completely about compiler design. So the basic thing is that we should highlight the compiler, its phases and different functionalities, whatever the things are going inside. So let's get started and know what are the different phases of compiler in this video. So there we go. In the first video we have discussed a preprocessor is something which removes the preprocessed statements and gives a pure high level language without containing any kind of hash includes like that, but the content and the files are included in the source code that we type, right? So that pure high level language goes into the compiler. So this is a compiler diagram. Consider a rectangular box as a compiler and it is divided into 6 phases. So these are the 6 phases of the compiler. So each has its own functionality and we will know each and everything as complete unit. In fact, in this video you will know a very little bit, but when we proceed further you will know a complete unit things. In fact, many things are there which would be covered, but it would take some time to understand. So, and another thing is that you should have a proper knowledge in theory of computation as well as computer organization for this subject to get a good marks or else a good understandability. That's all. Anyhow, we will discuss it, nothing to worry about it. And in this, the first phase is lexical analysis phase. So what is lexical analysis phase? What is the role? Okay, these names would be something very much different because these are predefined, or else you can say to build a compiler in the ancient time itself, that is a very starting design of the compiler itself, the people have designed in such a way that its name is also defined. Lexical analysis, they call it as lexical analysis, or it has many names like lexical analyzer, tokenizer, or else scanner. So the thing is that you should know what is the function of this phase. Okay, so the lexical analysis takes the high level language and converts it into tokens. Now how is that possible? First of all, if you are a non-programmer, then you should know what is a token. Now token are the basic and the smallest units that can be divided into for a given source code. For suppose a C code, I am here taking a C code for a sum of two numbers. I have taken int a is equals to 10, int b is equals to 10. Okay, so I have taken two numbers and I will add it. That's the normal logic for printing the sum of two numbers. If we consider these two as an expressions, and the role of lexical analysis would be something like breaking this complete code into tokens. Now what is tokens? Tokens are generally categorized as characters, special symbols, reserved words, identifiers. So these are something which are predefined for a C syntax or else any programming language syntax, such as, see here, int is an integer data type and C compiler knows that this is a data type. So this is the smallest unit that you can divide into. So this is called as a token, whereas a is an identifier, or else you can say it as a variable. So this is also called a token. Again, if you see here, equal to is there, so it is an operator. Operator is also a token. So the compiler knows it before. And here is a 10, that is value, that is a constant value. So this is also a token. And if you consider here semicolon, this is called as a separator operator. So this is also a token. So the role of lexical analysis is it considers every line or else the complete code that you have written as a stream of characters. Means it breaks the things into stream of characters, and later the stream of characters are divided into stream of tokens. So we have known that what is a token. So the role of lexical analysis is to convert the stream of characters of a given code into a stream of tokens, right? So these tokens are also called as lexemes. So this new terminology would be pretty weird, but it would be understandable when we are going to unit wise topic. That is, when we are having a complete topic about lexical analysis, it would be very clear because we are going to talk about lexemes very much there, right? So this is the first phase and the things that are happening in the first phase of the compiler. In the second phase, syntax analysis. Syntax analysis means, see, here we got the output as a stream of tokens, right? So this stream of tokens are taken by the syntax analysis. The syntax analyzer, or else you can say analyzer or analysis, anything, the phase is the common point here. The syntax analysis takes the stream of tokens and classifies it into a parse tree, or else divides it into a parse tree. Now, to understand parse tree, you should have a good knowledge in theory of computation, because in theory of computation we will discuss about NFS, DFS and all the concepts regarding grammar and almost everything related to grammar, which are the basic point for programming as well as logic building, right? So obviously not every grammar is necessary, but context free grammar is highly recommended. If you are not aware of the context free grammar, you can check in my next video, or else I will mention the links of context free grammar in the description. Do check it out. So this is the tasks of the syntax analysis. That is, it takes the tokens as input and generates a parse tree. Now parse tree, what is a parse tree? This parse word, actually basing upon context free grammar and the rules of context free grammar, if this token is able to be derived into two or more trees basing upon property of ambiguity. Usually context free grammars have a property of ambiguity. So if that is possible, then the syntax analysis goes to the semantic analysis phase. Or else, if there is no possibility of deriving a parse tree for a particular token, then it gives a syntax error. Remember this point. If there is no possibility of deriving a parse tree for a particular token or lexeme, then it gives a syntax error, right? Now this is the second phase of the compiler. Now what is the third phase? Semantic analysis. If parse tree is derivable for a given token and it is proceeded to the semantic analysis, the main point and the main function of semantic analysis is to just check whether the thing is really existing or not, or else it is matching with the language syntax or not. That is, see, here parse tree we have derived it already and it is correct, and we are going for checking it. What would it check? First of all, it would take the symbol table as a reference, and the symbol table would be containing lot of identifiers. See, we have defined lot of identifiers in the starting of the program. For example, sum of two numbers. We have taken two variables A and B, right? For that, if it is correct or not, if the given parse tree is resembling this symbol table, the things in symbol table and the semantic analysis both combined together checks whether the parse tree is correct or not. So the output generated by the semantic analysis would be verified parse tree. So verified parse tree means a perfect parse tree which can be proceeded further in compiler. Okay, so that is till the semantic analysis. And what is symbol table, if you ask? Symbol table is a data structure. In fact, see, data structure is potentially defined as something which stores as a enormous amount of data. In compiler, it is another kind of a data structure which stores all the identifiers, keywords and all the necessary rules and regulations which generally we have, right? That is, this is keyword and whatever the tokens. See, to identify a token also, to give it an error also, whatever the errors are there, we are having an error handler to handle it. But whatever the things we should check with the original content, that is original syntax of the C programming or any other programming, we are having a data structure to hold all those things. So that is a symbol table. So these both are also called as modules, but consider symbol table as a data structure. So after the semantic analysis phase, the verified parse tree obtained will pass through intermediate code generator or code generation. So this is the middle phase. What does it do? It produces a 3 address code. Now this 3 address code, to have a proper knowledge, you should have a good idea of computer organization subject. So computer organization subject deals with various kinds of codes, how the things are arranged, how the things are entering into the machine level code and everything like that. So for example here consider an expression to make you understand about the 3 address code. Consider an example as a plus b star c. So to represent this into a 3 address code, the rule is that it must have 3 address nodes as well as a single operator. Except the assignment operator, a single operator should be there. So, and another thing is that compiler itself generates a temporary variable to store this kind of 3 address node data. That is, consider the same expression can be represented as in a 3 address code format as a plus b star c. So the rule is that it must be 3 nodes must be there and 1 operator must be there. First of all, we will solve b star c and we will store in t1. Okay, we will take another temporary variable. These are generated by the compiler and no need to worry about it. We will add a1 plus t1. So again, if we want to do anything, x or y equals to a, we can assign the things we can assign the value to another variable and move on further with the taking this value as reference and using the things as possible. Okay, so this is the basic representation of 3 address code. So until here everything is clear, I guess. And coming to code optimization, what happens in code optimization? See, the word itself says code optimization. We got a 3 address code, right? So the code optimization is a phase which checks for the possibility of reducing the code and removing all the unnecessary trash code and making utilization of only useful code and which is executable. Such as the main function is it checks that the code executes faster as well as it should not waste any kind of memory of the computer. If you declare 1000 variables, it takes more amount of memory, right? And if you take or make use of a function and call whenever necessary, then it is almost useful and equivalent to the same work done, right? So code optimization is used to optimize the 3 address code generated, or else you can say to arrange everything in order, that is whatever the code in order, and manage the space as well as the time, reduce the time to compile. So that is the major role of code optimization. Now target code generator, whatever the optimized code is obtained. So this is the last phase or else final phase, you can say. Whatever the code is obtained, the code is passed through the target code generator to obtain the assembly level code. So how does this function at all? See, target code generator is directly converting this code into the required machine level code. Or else here we are talking about a compiler, right? It will generate an assembly level language or else assembly level code, but that language will have certain machine code instructions also. Okay, so this is the main part or else main 6 phases of the compiler. And coming to the error handler and symbol table, as I said, to check the parse tree is correct or not, how we will check it, whether it is defining the language or not. That is, C is a language, it has certain syntax, it is certain rules. If that rules are followed or not, the symbol table is used, right? Because it contains lot of things, identifiers, variables, keywords and everything, and it checks with it at every stage in fact. But at parse tree stage this is most vital, that's why it is connected to every stage. Symbol table is connected to every stage of the compiler. Whereas error handler, now what is this role? See, I said in the first video itself, a compiler is something which don't stop. Even in the first line of the code you get an error, it goes to another phase and it goes to another line, checks for the code and compiles entire code and carries a bunch of errors if you are having lot of errors in that, and all these bunch of errors are together shown you at one time at the display phase. That is, it is showed you as a group of errors, you have committed this error at particular line and you have to rectify it. So these are the things that are showed by the error handler. So all the errors are held by this, and when errors are displayed, obviously we will try to rectify them, and we are handling the errors here. So the role of error handler is to display the errors and not to stop and continue a smooth process of compilation, and if errors are coming it will display us. So these are the phases of the compiler, and every concept that is we are going to discuss from the next video. That is, we will start with lexical analysis and everything would be a bit lengthy chapters, but I hope it would be very easy, and follow up the series of videos and you will enjoy it for sure. Thank you and take care.